What's up, everyone? This is James at Lock in the Value talking to you today about the wonderful world of crypto. So, uh, before I get started, a couple of days ago I did a video where I made a point of making sure everyone was aware to watch out for all these messages on in comments on YouTube videos, just saying, talk to this trader. He turned my zero point 0.6 Bitcoin into 5 Bitcoin in 3 months. All this absolute bollocks. And I said, if you do these videos on my channel or these comments on my channel, I will remove them. And I did that 2-minute video a couple of days ago. In the last 24 hours, I've had about 30 of those comments. These bellends keep doing it, and it's really irritating me. I'll be crystal clear again. If I see the comments, I'm going to remove them. I'm not letting any of my subscribers get scammed by you guys. Now, you might have been trolling me, and if that's the case, that was quite funny. But I'm not going to let those comments on my channel, so stop trying, okay? Now, there's a fair bit of news that's out today. Before I talk about the projects that I want to talk about, I was going to point out a little bit of news. So South Korea's exchange Coinbit has been seized because of massive wash trading. Now, they're the third largest in South Korea, and this grabbed my attention because South Korea is so heavily invested within Icon, and I'm bullish on Icon. I've told you I have a bag of Icon. I'm never going to tell you how much I have of crypto, but I will certainly tell you if I'm invested in a project. Icon I'm very bullish on. So they made up 99% of their trading volume, and the police allege that they have produced over $84 million in faked income. So I went straight onto Coinbit just to check out their exchange, see what they were actually offering. Their Icon, I'm pleased to see, wasn't actually on their exchange. Not that they'd have had a major impact because they're the third biggest in South Korea, which is not anywhere close to the rest, like the top 20, right? So it's not a major news story, but it is very interesting, and it should highlight and serve as a reminder to be careful where you're putting your crypto. Don't leave too much on an exchange. Okay, I can totally get leaving some, but don't leave too much. Right, yeah, the Fed. The Fed are announcing an increase in inflation rates. If you are a regular person, that will sound mental to you, right? We're in a tumultuous time with jobs and everything else and income. So increase in inflation sounds concerning, and to be honest, it may very well be concerning to a number of people. Bankers and economists feel this might be a good move because what we know is that when a country has a low inflation rate, it is indicative of a country that's struggling and the economy is not moving in the right direction. So increasing the inflation rate should serve to provide economic growth. It also should allow institutions the opportunity to be able to adapt policies if, say, a global pandemic happened, and then they can act in the best interests of their clients. Now, bankers traditionally haven't done that, but hopefully that's sort of the point behind it. Now, this should have an impact on the market. I will be making an investment today because I think the market tomorrow is going to increase. I think we're going to see a lot of green tomorrow, to be honest. Because what this news of a higher inflation rate in tandem with the US government effectively just printing money has, the dollar's already weakened and it could weaken more. And we are going to start seeing shifts in where people keep their money safe. We already have. In fact, there was an article on Kitco where they were showing gold, silver, and crypto charts and showing that money is leaving fiat for these. And so here's a chart from gold, and the fractal is almost identical to the fractal that happened in the 1970s that led to the huge rally in gold. So that we could see gold flying up, and there's very much a similar scenario that appears to be going in terms of silver, and we're seeing exactly the same pattern with Bitcoin from 8 years ago. So, bearing this in mind, how strong is fiat going to be in a year's time? Because anyone that's saying fiat is going to be a goner is an idiot. Fiat is never going to be gone because banks are never going to leave, right? DeFi is a wonderful thing that legitimately could change the world, but it isn't going to mean that banks are going to be no longer a prominent thing. Yeah, I keep talking about, spoken about cashing your cryptocurrency out because fundamentally you still need fiat currency to buy things, right? Until housing markets hit cryptocurrencies in a more significant way, because they have partially, you know, the major things you want in life, a home over your head, a car, whatever, right? You still need money, actual cash fiat money to buy. So you've got to bear in mind that if fiat weakens, it's going to be great, and if fiat continues to weaken, it's going to be great for cryptocurrency. But you're still going to have to cash your cryptocurrency out for fiat to make sure you can make the purchases in life that you need. Right, lecture over. I've started using CoinGecko. I've had enough of CoinMarketCap. CoinMarketCap is too slow and it's glitching too much for my liking. Now, what I like about CoinGecko as well, they have an all-time high feature, which is very easy to use. And straight away, what I do, and I'll tell you why I do this. It's fairly obvious, but I'll say it anyway. I order by the biggest losses from the all-time highs. Okay, so I'll pick out a currency I've spoken about. Quantum, Nano Quantum, Siacoin, Icon. I've talked about, in fact, I've talked about all 5 of them in the past, and NEM in the past 4 months. Let me pick on Quantum. So I spoke about Quantum a few weeks ago. I said it was one that I've been buying up a little bit of, because it's a great project that I think will fly up. And I spoke about that when it was at 278 a few weeks ago. So it's had a bit of a gain. Now, its price right now is 361. Its all-time high is $100. If you think about that, that's about 26 times away from its all-time high right now. And in this next bull market cycle, I firmly believe that a lot of cryptocurrencies are going to break their previous all-time highs. So, but even then, if Quantum just hits its all-time high, you've made 26x. Okay, and we've got to think about all of these things, because it's not just this. You can't just hit and hope, right? Because there's going to be some projects that are 99.8% down, right? But if the project sucks ass, you don't want to invest in it. Okay, so you look at so I look at these all-time high drops in tandem with what I think is a good project. So Icon, I think, is a phenomenal project. I firmly believe it will break $20 in the next bull cycle. Right now, it's already like 22 times away from its all-time high now. If it breaks $20, it's close. It's like 33 times gain, and I think it will do more than that. But that's my sort of moderate optimism for $20. And when you're thinking about your investments, because obviously you shouldn't be just using a guy on YouTube's advice, you should be checking stuff out for yourself. But this is a really sensible way of identifying something that may be fundamentally undervalued, set for big gains, and moving on like that. The other thing before I get onto the token, look at Aave, guys, 84 cents. Do you remember this? Top 5s for crypto. I did this on the 1st of the month. Aave was my number 3. It's actually, I think, been my biggest gainer by far. Talked about it when it was just shy of 32 cents. So it's gone up 250% this month. Phenomenal growth. Right, let's get into it. Lukso. I am seeing so many bloody people talking about Lukso, so I wanted to actually have a little breakdown of Lukso. It's a weird project. I am very interested in this. I have nothing of it right now. I absolutely intend to buy some. It will only be a small bag, 0.1% of my portfolio. I'm not going to buy tons at all. $100, maybe $200, but not loads, right? But it's a very interesting project. Okay, now there's there's three ways you can get this. KuCoin, Uniswap, and they have a reversible ICO right now, which is a weird concept. It's the first time I've seen it. So Luxo is firstly it's the project that was created the person that created this project created the ERC20 and ERC725 tokens. Bear in mind the ERC20 we still all use for a number of different ways. Okay, the ERC20 is like the gold standard of ERC tokens, right? So that's a hell of a statement behind it straight away that guy created it is creating Luxo. What they're trying to do is universal public profiles, as in utilizing your face, you can get identifiers, and you don't have to remember a username or a password for anything anymore, and you can just go scan your face and you get onto every thing that you want. That's your verification rather than a password and a username. So I suppose everything will be far more secure because it will be a 3D print or scan or whatever. I like that as a concept. Parts of it I don't as well, but I think that's very interesting, and I'm definitely interested in that. Digital certificates is a brilliant idea. So digital certificates is effectively tracking your blockchain movements, proving digital ownership. It's almost removing the purpose of like a notary. So when you go to a bank or you sign paperwork or you do a deed poll or whatever, a lot of the time you have to get a notary to notarize it and sign off on it. This almost removes the point of a notary by just tracking digital blockchain movements and proving digital ownership. I like this. This is a very sensible idea. This I don't get. I am saying straight up, I don't get this. Cultural currencies. So digital tokens can act as the connective medium for lifestyle communities, which make them valuable, participative, and inclusive. I don't know if that means there's going to be tokens for yoga students, tokens. Well, definitely not for the Amish, but tokens for like different. I don't know, like for people that do different hobbies. I don't understand what that is, and I will be trying to wrap my head around that properly because I don't get that. But let's look at their ICO. Now, their ICO is a reversible ICO. Currently, the price is 77 cents. That's interesting because if you look, it is trading right now at 95 cents on KuCoin and 97 on Uniswap. Uniswap is always way too expensive. Not a fan of Uniswap, guys. Really not. I see the point of it and I've used it, but I don't. If I can avoid using it, I will. But what's interesting is this is a reversible ICO, so you can, if you're not American or Chinese, you can reserve a certain amount of LYX tokens, right, or LYXE, and it will be bought over a particular time frame. So 10ETH would reserve 5,000 of them, which will be bought over 5 months and 25 days. Now, it does mean that you'll be paying sort of staggered prices upwards, but you can also get back your ERC20 or your ERC77, your Ethereum basically. You can get that back if you decide you don't want to go through with it. So it's like a money back deal, which is pretty good. I've not seen that before. Now, the goal of the project is very interesting, and they're going to be working with DeFi projects as well, but everyone wants to at this point. 5% are owned by founders and collaborators, which isn't too bad. You know, could be a lot worse. I've seen worse. Um, but I want to show you the team. So this guy created the RC20 token. Marjorie Hernandez is built and led EY's innovation lab in Berlin, and she's worked closely with Ethereum and the IOTA Foundation. Big statements on both of those those two co-founders. Then advisors. I mean, look at this. Vice President of Digital at Nike, President of Europe at Chanel, Vice President of Burberry, founder and CEO of Highs Nobiety. I've got to be honest, I don't know that one. But we've got, you know, a lead core developer for Ethereum Foundation. We've got head of strategic partnerships for Instagram. We've got chairman and CEO of Greyland Fireworks Corporation. That's an interesting one. Tech lead for POA Network. Yeah, I mean, there's some serious names here, and there's some serious like people to be advising. You know, founder and CEO of Confit.io and former group COO of Deutsche Bank. You know, they're big statements in a team, right? And a team is what you're investing in fundamentally, right? If a project looks amazing but the team can't deliver, then you're screwed, right? But if you've got an amazing team behind anything, a project can get better and better and better. So he's trying to build the next is building a platform for the next wave of mainstream blockchain applications. As a project, I quite like this. It's very interesting. So announced partners, right? Authentic, WOM, The Fabricant. I'll be honest, know very little about any of these.